Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a beautiful day here in Canada, which is unusual because this place sucks with the weather. But it's a great day to go working on something like this. So we're back here with the OBS, and today we're doing a drop. 2-4 drop, pretty simple, right? Got your 2-inch drop spindles. They don't come painted. I did this. These are DJM pieces, and sure, that's all I know about those. Here's the 4-inch drop kit, shackles, hangers. Apparently one of these hangers is a real nightmare on this side of the truck. And then we've got some shocks, Street Performance Beltec shocks. In addition, I've also got a drive shaft alignment kit that I'm going to install to avoid any vibrations. Also, since the last time you've seen it, we got tires and wheels. Of course, these wheels aren't new. I've had these wheels for quite some time, but I cleaned them up, put some new rubber on it. So we've got 235 70-15s on front, and on the back, I went with a little bit of a taller tire, 255 70-15, just to fill out the wheel well a little bit. So nothing too special, nothing too crazy. These wheels are 15 by 7s, which is kind of why I went with a narrower tire. I didn't want to go too crazy wide because then you get that big balloon effect and it kind of looks goofy. Plus your contact patch is all screwed up. So I don't know what the offset backset is on them, but they fit pretty good, and I hope that one should go inside the wheel well, and this one shouldn't be a problem either. Hopefully we don't have to roll fenders. I really don't want to do that. So anyway, that's about it. I'm going to set up the time lapse and I'm going to get going on it.
Hey guys, it's John here. I'm going to be jumping in a little bit to kind of guide you guys through what he's doing here with his suspension setup. Lots of time lapsing coming up, but it's some good footage and it should give some insight as to what he's doing and how he's doing it. So buckle up and take a look.
All right, well, we're in the meat of her now. We've got the old spindles off. New one is here with my mess of tools. It's organized madness. I know what's going on. You don't have to. You're not the one here working. So we got the old one off. We're going to change the ball joints. We're going to change the tie rod. And I'm going to change this link here. Now, here's a little tip that I kind of figured out. Is I left the shock in place for now. That way we don't have the problem of that spring coming out and going into low Earth orbit. The shock's going to hold that in place. A little bit more of a pain in the ass to get the spindles off of these arms, but for the safety and peace of mind of the fact that I'm not going to die today, I think it was well worth it. So I'll get everything bolted back together, the spindle in place, and then I'll take the shock out. So that's the plan anyways. So back to it.
So unfortunately here, the microphone ended up coming down and it got in the way of some of the footage. But this is where he's extracting the old ball joint. He's pressing it out using that big C-clamp and press. You can rent one of these at any parts source or auto parts store anyway. But he got it out here and he decides to go ahead and press the new one back in. Make sure you have it seated properly when you're doing it, otherwise it's going to take off like a rocket. And once it's done, you can feel on the bottom that the ring is seated on the A-arm and everything's cool, like he's got here. So after he gets that upper ball joint out, it looks like it's just 3 bolts that come out, and then he pops the new one back in, bolts it all up, and everything's good. So after you get the new spindle all bolted up, the dust shield goes on, and then the new brake setup goes on. Make sure you pack those bearings, make them all greasy, and also make sure the spindle itself is nice and clean before you put it all back together. You don't want any dust or debris in there, otherwise it could give you some trouble down the road. Brake goes on, everything's cool, and then he moves on to the shock after this.
Alright everybody, so it's been a bit of a battle. You've seen the time lapse, but yeah, she's done. For this side. Everything went together pretty quickly, easily. So I did upper lower ball joints, I did the tie rods, new shocks and a new sway bar end link. Everything was easy except the front shocks. See, I bought Beltec shocks. Thought they'd be the right ones because they said they did, but they're not. They're too short. So I tried installing them, and what was happening is it was pulling up the front of the suspension, and it was shortening my suspension travel. So because we have nothing here, we're at a geographical anomaly where we're 2 weeks from everything. I just went to Part Source, which is like our O'Reilly's AutoZone, you know the thing. Got some Monroes, proper length, installed it on the front. Yeah, so she'll be supposedly 2 inches lower. I guess we really won't know until we put it down on the ground. Now, I guess on to this side.
Okay guys, so same thing here, quick disassembly. He's gonna take the spindle off, he's gonna take the upper and lower ball joint out to his probable immense struggle. But once he gets that off, he's gonna pop everything back in, he's gonna put the new components on, he's gonna do that tie rod link, and everything's gonna be cool. Once he gets everything back together, it's the same procedure as the other side. Everything goes back together the same way it came off. Pack your bearings, make sure you don't over tighten the castle nut in there on the spindle nut, and everything should work out fine for you. All you have to do is have a little patience and everything will go according to plan. Okay, so what's going on next here is we're putting the wheel on to test fit. We're doing the side to side because the A-arm has to be cut for wheel clearance. You can see here he's using a Milwaukee angle grinder to cut the portions out. It's like an inch on either side or something like that. Not a huge deal. It shows you how much you have to cut when you buy the kit or you look it up or whatever. Once it goes together, everything is fine. All right, on to the back. Now what he's doing here, you have to drop the factory leaf springs and then change out the front and back shackles. Now the front ones are a little bit of a bear because they're riveted to the frame. So you can see him cutting everything here. You have to cut off the rivets and then punch them out. Try to get a air chisel in there, whatever you can get in to help you. The air chisel worked for us, and then you got to do a little bit of prying. Just make sure you don't pry on that frame or chisel it too hard, otherwise you might damage the frame. Everything did go smoothly on this front. It did take some time and a little bit of cursing and swearing, but it did go. So just, again, some patience. Once we got the front and back drop shackles in place, it was a little bit of a struggle to get the springs back into the shackle hangers. It's probably not a bad idea to have a couple people here doing it like we did. You need somebody to kind of reef on it while the other one's trying to put the bolt in. But ultimately it goes in. You just gotta use a little bit of muscle. Reef on it, don't be scared. Just make sure your vehicle is properly jacked so it doesn't fall on you, but just give her. All right, my friends, I've returned. I'm taking over now. Even though I came at the very end and I didn't help out very much, I'm sure he's filled you in on what's going on. Actually, he hasn't. I don't know what I'm doing. So this is your gig. I'm just gonna film you.
Yeah, well, it's done. Of course, we finished the front 2-inch. Now we got the rear done. So we've got the hangers, shackles, new shocks. Hopefully these shocks are the right length this time, not like the front ones.
Yeah, it looks good.
And we're gonna try and put it on the ground and see what it looks like on the ground.
Cool. You showed him the front already?
Oh yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, let's see. Bet you guys haven't seen a jack that big.
I think we're out of air. Oh damn! He's sitting down.
Nice.
Is it enough? You'll be able to pull it out, I think.
Okay.
No, I won't pull the jack straight back. No, they're bound. Okay.
Okay, final letdown. That's good stuff. Oh, it tucks so good. That's rad.
It's about the same in the front and the back now.
Cool, man. Look how you can. I'm short and I can just reach over top of it now.
That's actually super good for loading things at Home Depot now. That's not like that really way
I can see how dirty your roof is now.
I'll be able to clean it better.
Sweet.
Oh man, that sits amazing.
Yeah, I like the way that sits.
I guess now for the test drive and see if it vibrates.
Yeah, so what's the deal with that? If it vibrates, you gotta put it
because when you lift it up, you're changing your pinion angle a little bit.
Right.
So some people say it vibrates, some people it doesn't. I've got the kit that shims the pinion to the right angle, and then it lifts the carrier bearing and the back of the transmission up like an inch. So if it vibrates, I'll come back and I'll put the kit in, and then it should be good, and then I'll go for wheel alignment.
And then you're done.
I'm really happy with my wheel and tire selection. I think it fit perfectly.
Yeah, I think that looks good too.
I think the 275 60s or whatever,
yeah,
they would have left too much wheel well.
Yeah, I think so too.
Tuck just nicely in there.
It fills your wheel well gap. Yeah, it looks good. That was a big. That was
crazy how much lower it sits.
That was a big one on the list.
Yeah. Well,
of to-dos.
This is day 3, so. Good luck here.
This is a Beltec kit.
DJM.
DJM.
DJM. Beltec rear shocks. The Beltec shocks for the front didn't fit because
yeah.
therefore if you use a drop spring.
Right.
So there's just some Monroe.
Let's see if DJM's full of shit or not.
29 3/4. So it's 31 and a half start. Just a 1/4 inch shy of a 2-inch drop in the front.
So and
well, that's the thing is
you might get some settling.
Yeah, because the suspension has to jounce down.
Yeah.
Wow, it's an inch taller in the back. 30 3/4. So I got 33 and a half minus 30 3/4, whatever the fuck that is. 3 and a half. And that's what I got on this side too, is 3 and a half. Because this side is a 1/2 inch lower than that side for some reason. Oh. Probably a fuel tank.
Yeah, it probably is your fuel, honestly.
29 3/4. So we got just about what we paid for. Probably close enough.
Especially like I said.
I mean, it's never going to be exact based on everyone's vehicle is different. The springs have different tension in them because they're older or newer. So anyway, close enough. But as we can see, I'm about a little bit taller, about an inch taller in the back.
Yeah.
Which is perfect.
And you can see it too,
and I've got a little bit of rubber rake to start, so it still has a pinch of rake.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not completely flat.
It's not Cali leaning.
Yeah.
Which is what I didn't want.
Yeah, I'd rather have rake than.
And now that I'm looking at it, that fat tire in the back does look pretty cool with a big sidewall.
Yeah.
It's a little bit bigger than that front tire, but yeah.
Sweet.
Man, that's
low and slow. Yeah, cool. Well, I think that'll do her, guys. If you have any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments below, and make sure you
hit that like and subscribe, and we'll get some more shit going on. I think. I don't know. This is kind of. This is stuff is slow.
Time and money is what are both short.
Yeah. Well, working full time and
Yeah.
trying to do this is hard. But anyway, yeah, that'll do it. So do it yourself. If I ever got a Chevy truck, I think I would do the same thing. Yeah. Also, I put the 2-step launch control in the Firebird, so I will show you guys that, and then we'll get a little clip of driving that around, and then I might have another car showing up here to show you guys. It's pretty rad, and it's got big cubes. So anyway, stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.